People have been suspicious of Jay-Z and Beyoncé for a while now. With their wealth and power, some people have been convinced that they are not good people, and it turns out they were right. Now, for years, Jay-Z has been friends with problematic men, but right now the spotlight is on him and Diddy. Now, if you somehow didn't know, Diddy has been arrested and served with a ton of lawsuits regarding how he mistreated people at his parties. People grew suspicious of Beyoncé and Jay-Z when he was arrested, as the three of them were really close. I mean, Jay-Z and Beyoncé even debuted some of their new music at Diddy's parties. But it turns out that Jay-Z was actually involved in some of the crimes Diddy has been accused of. Now, one accuser says that she was a victim of both Jay-Z and Diddy. In October, a case was brought against Diddy from a Jane Doe about an incident that happened at one of his parties. Now, the suit also claimed that two other celebrities were involved in the incident, a male and a female celebrity. Now, since October, people have been speculating who those two celebrities could be, and one has been officially announced. It was Jay-Z. The lawsuit says in the year 2000, a friend dropped Jane Doe off at the VMAs at Radio City Music Hall. Now, she did not have a ticket, and she approached various limousine drivers to try to gain access to the show or an after party. Now, one driver, the lawsuit says, told her that he worked for Diddy and that she fit what Diddy was looking for. He invited her to a party after the show and told her to return to his car later in the evening after he transported Diddy and Jay-Z. Now later, the driver picked her up, the suit says, and after 20 minutes they arrived at a white house with a U-shaped driveway. Now, she said she had to sign a document she believed was a non-disclosure agreement on arrival to enter the party, which the suit says was filled with celebrities. She then said while there, she was offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down. So she went into a room to rest. Now, shortly afterward, the suit says that Diddy and Jay-Z entered the room, with Diddy saying, "You are ready to party." That's when she alleges she was taken advantage of by both men, while an unnamed female celebrity watched. After the alleged incident, the suit says she grabbed her clothes and left, and she made her way to a gas station where she called her father. In a statement, Jay-Z called the mediation request a blackmail attempt. He also said that this lawyer, who I've done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of those type of theatrics. Now, in a statement from Tony Busby on Saturday, the attorney, he wrote, "The pleading speaks for itself. This is a very serious matter that will be litigated in court." Now, after this, Jay-Z filed his own lawsuit against the accuser's attorneys. Tony then denied the extortion claims against Jay-Z in an Instagram post in which he wrote that his firm won't allow the powerful and their high-dollar lawyers to intimidate or silence survivors. And in a statement to CNN, he said, "If you are trying to hide your identity and you claim you did nothing wrong, doesn't seem very smart to take this approach. We will address it in due course. I have confidence that with full public disclosure, all of this will sort itself out," Tony wrote. Now, on Sunday, Tony responded on social media to Jay-Z's statement, saying that the alleged victim never demanded a penny from him. Now, besides people calling Jay-Z out online, musical artist Jaguar Wright called out the star months ago. In an October interview with British journalist Piers Morgan, she alleged that Jay-Z and his wife Beyoncé were involved in bad practices, including keeping people against their will and even engaging in questionable activities. Wright further claimed that she had 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony on not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They are a nasty little couple. They do nasty things. Keeping people against their will, putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane unconscious, she said. Now, in past interviews, Wright has claimed that Jay-Z was worse than Diddy and accused both men of being monsters. Now, following the refiling of the lawsuit on December 8th, the internet has exploded with reactions, many pointing out that Jaguar Wright had previously predicted the situation. One user on Twitter wrote, "Jaguar Wright literally predicted this a few months ago," referencing her earlier claims about the pair. While another added, "Jaguar Wright has always spoken the truth about Jay-Z, no one listened to her." Many users are now echoing this sentiment that Wright was silenced for speaking out, with one stating, "Everyone owes Jaguar Wright an apology for silencing her voice about Jay-Z." Now, Twitter has also gone ablaze with people compiling evidence of Jay-Z being creepy over the years. It seems like he had a thing for young girls, which makes his connection to Diddy and his crimes even more believable. Now, Jay-Z also appeared to be overly protective over Beyonce when they first got together. In 2003, Beyonce released the song Baby Boy featuring Sean Paul. It was a huge song, but it was only performed live 3 times. Now, that year, Jay-Z reportedly banned Sean Paul from performing the song with Beyonce at the VMAs. Now, Beyonce performed it, but Sean was in the crowd. Now, Beyonce and Sean also didn't even film the music video together, as it was reported that Jay-Z didn't want other men around her. Now, this isn't the first time something like this has happened, as in an interview, Bun B, who worked with Beyonce on Check On It, revealed that Jay-Z called during the video shoot and told all men to leave the set. Yikes, it seems like Jay-Z is just really controlling. While Beyonce hasn't done anything remotely as bad as what Jay-Z has done, she still had plenty of controversies over the years, especially when it comes to her music. Beyonce's album Renaissance was met with multiple critiques after its release. Just one day before the album dropped, Khalees slammed Beyonce for using a sample of her 2003 hit song Milkshake, allegedly without her permission. On Instagram, she wrote, "My mind is blown too because the level of disrespect and utter ignorance of all 3 parties involved is astounding. I heard about this the same way everyone else did." Though neither Beyonce nor her team publicly commented on the post, they ended up removing the sample from the Spotify version of Energy in August of 2022, but to this day, you can still find it on Apple Music. Now, Beyonce's 2011 Billboard Music Awards performance was one for the books, but it did cause some controversy. But she was then accused of copying Italian singer Lorella Cuccari and a performance she did 1 year prior in 2010. Now, Beyonce later explained that she was inspired by Lorella, adding that she had no intentions of stealing her stunning visuals. Now, stealing and being inspired are 2 different things though, if we're being honest, and this wasn't the only time she was accused of stealing something for a performance. Oh no. Beyonce, Sony, Columbia, and the pop stars Parkwood Entertainment were all sued by indie filmmaker Matthew Folks over the visuals to her 2016 album Lemonade. He also claimed that he sent Parkwood Entertainment the short film, so he knows several employees who worked on Lemonade had access to it. Now, 1 month after his June 2016 filing, Beyonce's attorneys hit back, arguing that visuals do not fall under copyright infringement. They also argued that the narrative was completely different, as Lemonade dealt with portraying an African-American woman who progresses through stages of suspicion, denial, anger, and ultimately reconciliation in her relationship. But hey, I can definitely see the similarities. Regardless, it seems like both Jay-Z and Beyonce have gotten away with way too much. And even if Beyonce did not participate in any of the crimes that Jay-Z allegedly did, she probably still knows about them, which is just gross.
We were warned that big-name celebrities were going to be called out over the course of Diddy's trial, and it seems that started with Jay-Z being named in a suit. It was originally filed back in November, but at the time it was just Sean Combs, aka Diddy, that was named. The others were simply referred to as Celebrity A and B. The woman that has filed the suit has requested that she remain anonymous, so she is known as Jane Doe during the proceedings. The lawsuit alleged that Diddy and an unnamed additional male celebrity harmed Jane Doe inappropriately while another, also unnamed, female celebrity watched. The plaintiff's story in the lawsuit was she attempted to sneak into Radio City Music Hall in 2000 for the MTV VMAs, but when she was unsuccessful, she ran into Diddy's driver. The driver told her to come back after the show, and when she did, he drove her to a large white house with a gated U-shaped driveway. The plaintiff further claims that upon entering the home, she was presented with a non-disclosure agreement and asked to sign. Once inside, she claims there was widespread use of substances, and when handed a beverage, they were in there too. In a bid to find somewhere safe to rest, the plaintiff claims she entered an empty bedroom, and it wasn't long after she entered that the trio of celebrities allegedly followed. It was then that the multiple transgressions happened, ultimately halting when the plaintiff struck Diddy in the neck. She was able to eventually escape the house and return home, but the night left its mark. As reported by the Daily Mail, the lawsuit claims that the plaintiff fell into a deep depression which continues to affect every facet of her life. Diddy continues to assert his innocence. The Daily Mail obtained photos from this night that included music artist Jay-Z, who is now officially named in this suit. I recently covered this lawsuit in another video back in November. Leaked Diddy party photos of Jennifer Lopez will change everything. At the time, the lawsuit only named Sean Diddy Combs. The other parties were simply unnamed celebrities. That has obviously changed. Jay-Z's name has been revealed. However, we still don't know who the female celebrity was. There are 1,001 theories, of course, because that's what the internet does, but we still don't know for sure. So to clarify, just because I mentioned J-Lo a second ago, she was not named in the suit. That is the focus of this video. However, with the knowledge that we are still missing one piece of the puzzle, and that originally Jay-Z was unnamed, it begs a couple of big questions. Why did she only name Diddy originally and wait to release Jay-Z's name, and why hasn't the female celebrity's name been released either? Only Jane Doe and her legal team know for sure. However, Jay-Z has given us some clues on his end. He claims that before his name was added to the mix, his lawyer received a letter about the suit. Allegedly, the letter was intended to blackmail him. It was described as a pre-litigation demand letter. The rapper claimed that he was asked for money, but Jane Doe's legal representation, Tony Busby, claimed that she asked for mediation and never sought financial gain. Busby did respond to Jay-Z's claims in an amended complaint. This time, he accused Jay-Z of conspiracy of harassment, bullying, intimidation against plaintiffs' lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z. So from all that, it's looking like Jay-Z's name was initially kept in the dark because they were trying to work things out behind closed doors, but everything went sour, and that's why it's all in the open now. Other than the female celebrity's name, of course. There is a possibility we'll never know who it was. In the event that the same stages were taken with celebrity B as they were with celebrity A, there is a chance everything was settled behind closed doors and we will forever be left to wonder. The suit did say that the female celebrity didn't actually do anything to the plaintiff, she just watched, but that's also not great. The original lawsuit was filed back in October. It's unclear if Jane Doe's legal team also would have sent a letter to Combs' lawyer in advance like how they did to Jay-Z's, or if they simply would have just filed the suit, considering there were already so many against Diddy already. Jay-Z is adamantly denying pretty much everything the suit is accusing him of. He has shared that the allegations are causing strain in his personal and family life, as his daughter, Blue Ivy, is old enough to likely hear this information, and she's almost the age the woman in the suit was when the incident happened. Jay-Z is now calling for a name to be revealed, and it's Jane Doe's. She has wanted to remain anonymous since the filing of the suit. However, Jay-Z wants to know who is accusing him. Jay-Z claims that the accuser should not be allowed to tarnish his name while hiding her identity. His attorney called the whole situation a shakedown and said that if Jane Doe isn't revealed, it would deny Mr. Carter the fundamental right to confront his accuser while simultaneously enabling plaintiff and her counsel to conduct a trial by media. In a Monday filing, Jay-Z and his legal team have called for a judge to order that Jane Doe either reveal herself or the lawsuit gets dropped. However, Jane Doe likely has a good reason to keep her name under wraps. Tony Busby spoke on behalf of her and the over 200 clients with claims against Diddy that his firm represents, and explained why it's so important for them to be anonymous. He claimed that about 80% of those that he is representing during this Diddy case have told the firm that Diddy has warned them to keep quiet or something bad would happen to them and or their loved ones. Who knows if he meant it, but better safe than sorry. Keeping your name out of the headlines also ensures that you don't get hounded by the press day in and day out. Famous and rich rapper Jay-Z can afford security. We don't know what Jane Doe's lifestyle looks like or if it would be safe for her in that sense. Busby spoke to a federal judge Sunday, during which he stressed the importance of his client remaining anonymous for protection's sake. Jay-Z did release a statement in which he accused Jane Doe's representation, Busby, of exploiting people for personal gain. He called the claims against him idiotic, and if there weren't young people involved, laughable. But somehow, this all gets even more dramatic. Busby shared that he actually expected Jay-Z to attempt to unmask Jane Doe and would be filing a response when the time was right, which will probably be soon. But he also dropped another bombshell claim just to shake things up. Apparently, Busby was sued in November by an unnamed celebrity. We know it was a man because they sued under the name John Doe. Since the first filing with Diddy's name happened in October, the timeline would line up for Busby to have enough time to contact Jay-Z's lawyer and then for them to sue in response. Of course, this is all alleged as Busby doesn't even know who it was, so I certainly won't pretend to know for sure either. Busby did relate this case to the one making the headlines now, saying, "He sued me under a pseudonym but files a motion to reveal the victim." Despite the high-profile nature of this case, Jay-Z is still out making public appearances. He was spotted on a red carpet shortly after the news broke of the incident from the early 2000s. The red carpet in question was Disney's Mufasa. The live-action prequel to The Lion King stars Beyonce and their daughter Blue Ivy, so that is why he was there to support his family. It is his daughter's big day. However, considering the circumstances, many people have shared online that they think he should not have gone, or at least stayed off the red carpet, that maybe he should have sat this one out. One ex-user said that the rapper had nerve showing up like that, another agreeing with the response, "No shame." Another popular rapper is even lending his keyboard to the drama. 50 Cent has been closely following the Diddy allegations and case and commenting at every chance he gets. Having Jay-Z roped into it all now, it was only a matter of time before a post hit Instagram. The post has since been deleted, but of course, there are screenshots. He posted a picture of the family on the red carpet with a caption directly referencing the allegations against Jay-Z. It basically said, "Oh, I got accused of this really awful thing, time to go to the movies." That's like a very PG translation of the actual caption. Truly, it seems the public loves 50 Cent for keeping it real and never shying away from throwing in his 2 cents, or should I say 50, a bad joke for me, but he does have a lot to say at all times. One ex-user even said that at this point, 50 Cent is the only trustworthy news source. He's even helping create a Netflix documentary about this whole situation. Not much is known past the fact that Netflix will stream it. We know it will be primarily about Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and one of the first and most public of the suits against the disgraced rapper. The doc will be an episodic series, and all proceeds will go towards victims of inappropriate violence. When 50 Cent confirmed the bidding war was won by Netflix in a since-deleted Instagram post, he also claimed that if more victims keep coming out, he's gonna need more episodes, so there is potential that the doc will end up covering way more than it originally bargained for, especially since Diddy's trial hasn't even happened yet. It's set for a May 2025 start.
Liam Payne's recent passing has reignited conspiracy theories linking him to Puff Daddy, especially after a resurfaced video from 2017. Liam once claimed he was left scared after an encounter with the hip-hop mogul and Jay-Z in a video that's resurfacing in light of the singer's shocking passing. Payne made the comments back in a 2017 appearance on the Graham Norton show, where he recalled meeting Puffy at a party and how the rapper lingered in their handshake for an uncomfortable amount of time. Liam said, and I quote, "I went over to speak to him and Jay-Z, and as I shook his hand, he just chuckled. He had the most evil laugh I've ever heard. So I'm a little bit fearful of that man." Now, Liam was only 24 at the time. Liam said that Puffy held his hand for it was just a very uncomfortable amount of time, in the longest handshake ever, leaving him wondering, when is this going to end? Now, that video sparked wild conspiracy theories recently, in the wake of obviously Liam's passing and the mounting allegations against Puffy, who was awaiting trial on multiple unspeakable charges in cases that have rocked the music industry. Fans began speculating online that Liam's sudden and mysterious passing might be connected to the music mogul. Some users on social media, particularly the app formerly known as Twitter, drew parallels between Liam's comments and his untimely leaving, suggesting Liam Payne talks about Puffy. Everyone tries to stop him, and now he passes mysteriously? Connect the dots. There's no such thing as an accident in the music industry. Liam's fall was a warning to others. Somebody added, they had like a whole thread going. They mentioned that too many stars pass away under suspicious circumstances. Liam's fall is just another in a long line of unexplained ones. They also added that they're suspicious of any passing with anybody who knew Puffy. They included the hashtag wake up, and added that any interviewer talking about Puffy right now is so scared. So this old clip went viral. I think there was like over 131,000 views on it. Like, there was a lot of eyeballs. Somebody else added in commentary saying that Liam was so put off considerably when he met Puffy. And well, once again, Liam is sadly no longer with us, and they don't think that's a coincidence, but they were just putting that out there. Yet another user shared a clip saying, Liam talking about Puffy? now they've shut him down. And somebody else even said, like, isn't it funny how this video was circulating last week online and now he's no longer with us? Now, somebody else suggested, without providing evidence of their claims, that maybe Liam would have been asked as a witness to the upcoming trials. Which, by the way, 5 new federal civil lawsuits have been filed against Puff Daddy over the last weekend, bringing forth a fresh new wave of accusations against the producer dating between the year 2000 to 2022. Among the plaintiffs, 2 are men, 3 are women, and all of these alleged incidents reportedly occurred at parties that were hosted by the mogul. Liam's interview wasn't the only time he mentioned this unsettling encounter, by the way. In a different 2017 interview with Kiss FM's Kyle and Jackie O, he again spoke about his run-in with Puffy at a celebrity-packed event that also included Jay-Z and Leonardo DiCaprio. He described it as the most daunting celebrity experience, reiterating the strange handshake and the unsettling chuckle. He also admitted that he had approached Puffy, believing he would be the safest out of the trio, which, what does that mean? And in retrospect, he realized he missed the mark. Obviously, this has all resurfaced following the news of Liam's untimely passing away in Argentina after he fell from a 3rd-floor balcony at his hotel and suffered a fractured skull, amongst other injuries. Liam, who quickly rose to stardom as a member of popular British boy band One Direction and grappled with intense global fame while still in his youth, sent shockwaves across the world as investigators continue their investigation. As fans and media descended upon the Casa Sur Hotel in the trendy Palermo neighborhood of Argentina's capital, the forensics unit worked inside, collecting evidence. The local police said they found Liam's hotel room in complete disarray with packets of a central nervous system depressant, as well as energy supplements and other over-the-counter items all around the room, and various items broken. They added that there was a broken bottle, there was a lighter, there was a cell phone that were retrieved from the internal hotel courtyard where Liam's body was sadly found. Police said they had rushed to the hotel Wednesday in response to an emergency call just after 5 p.m. local time that had warned of an aggressive man who could be under the influence of some sort of harmful substance. A hotel manager could be heard on a 911 call recording that was obtained by the Associated Press, saying the hotel had a guest who was overwhelmed, he was destroying the entire room, and, well, we need you to send someone, please. The manager's voice becomes more anxious as the call goes on, noting the room has a balcony. A photo provided by the police from inside Liam's hotel room really did show all the smashed upness and the debris and just how sad things were. You could see the TV was situated at an angle, there was a very large break visible in the middle of the screen. One Direction was famously assembled by British producer Simon Cowell after he saw Liam and 4 other talented young men, Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, Louis Tomlinson, and Niall Horan, audition for the UK version of The X Factor. Individually, they weren't good enough, but Simon thought together they were a sensation. Called 1D by their fans, the Directioners, they became a global phenomenon as the first group to have its first 4 albums debut at #1 on the Billboard 200 on the Billboard charts. Their massive fan base, once again, Directioners, propelled the pop group to more than 50 million records sold before the members parted ways to pursue solo careers. They were known for songs like What Makes You Beautiful, Best Song Ever, Story of My Life, and Liam has previously spoken out about the mental weight of all that fame. He said, "I don't think I struggle in the sense of what you would naturally think of when I'm walking down the street with every person stopping me." He mentioned that, it happens sometimes, but it's mainly mentally where you struggle with it. It's the getting ready, always knowing that you will be photographed. Zayn Malik was the first to depart the band, though, in 2015, and everybody else followed suit. Liam released his first solo album in 2019, titled LP1, and last year he did announce plans for a new album and tour that were later postponed after he suffered from a kidney infection. In recent years, Liam has acknowledged struggling with addictions, saying in a YouTube video that was posted in July of last year that he had been sober for 6 months after receiving treatment. English singer Rebecca Ferguson, who reached the final of the British show The X Factor, same year that One Direction was competing, has called out the exploitation and profiteering of young stars and the negative impacts of fame in tribute to Liam. She mentioned that they both met at Euston Station in London and shared the taxi together to the audition. They were young, they were innocent, they were unaffected by fame. This was all a statement that she wrote on Twitter. She said, "I can't help but think of that boy who was hopeful and looking forward to his bright future ahead. If he hadn't jumped on that train and jumped in that taxi," she says, "I believe he would be alive today." Now, Liam was really young when he first auditioned for X Factor, and he had to return a couple years later. It was 2010, then he was like a good age, he returned for a second audition, and that's how we got One Direction. In terms of reality TV, Fremantle UK, the production company that oversees a lot of shows, they did mention that they postponed auditions after the passing away, saying their thoughts are with Liam's friends, family, and all who loved him. Now, going back to Ferguson. She has spoken out for years about the exploitation and profiteering of young stars and how a lot of them are still living with the aftermath and the PTSD. She concluded by saying, "Rest in peace, Liam. I hope you find peace on the other side and love to your mom and family." When Liam was talking about the exploitation, he mentioned back in 2021 on the Diary of a CEO podcast that him and his band members were often locked in their rooms due to their popularity, which led him to start to enjoy drinking and having parties for one, and that carried on for many years as part of his life. In another interview in 2019 with British broadcaster Sky News, he said he felt quite lucky to still be here, which was something he had never shared at that point. His family has released a statement saying they are heartbroken by his passing. Liam will live forever in their hearts. They'll remember him for his kind, funny, and brave soul. They were supporting each other best they could. They were asking for privacy and space, which they absolutely deserve. More tributes have been rolling in. Paris Hilton said it was so upsetting to hear the news of the passing. She sent her love and condolences to his family and loved ones. Rolling Stones guitarist Ronnie Wood remembered working with Liam on a performance on The X Factor. Another popular boy band, Backstreet Boys, mentioned that words could not express the emotions they were feeling, and they sent their love to Liam's family, friends, and the Directioners.
First off, we have Taylor Swift. Swift and Beyonce seem to be on good terms now, constantly photographed at award shows together and supporting each other's concert movies. But years ago, Taylor and Queen Bee had some tension formed between them by Kanye West, as Taylor Swift was giving her Best Female Video Acceptance speech for You Belong With Me at the 2009 MTV Awards. Kanye went on stage, took the microphone from her and said, "Yo Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish." But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time, referring to the music video for Single Ladies. As the live audience booed him, Kanye handed the microphone back to Taylor, shrugged his shoulders, and walked off stage. Next up, we have Carrie Hilson. The beef started back in 2009 after Carrie's Beyonce diss track surfaced. "Your vision cloudy if you think you the best. You can dance, you can sing, but need to move it to the left," she sang. "She needs to go have some babies. She needs to sit down. She fake. Them other chicks ain't even worth talking about." The R&B singer remained tight-lipped about her alleged 2009 diss track for years, but many believe the "Turning on Me" lyrics mentioned qualities that hinted towards Beyonce. Many believed Carrie dissed Beyonce with the lines about moving it to the left, and this seemed to be a reference to Beyonce's 2006 song Irreplaceable. According to a report in Cheat Sheet in 2011, the Carrie Hilson-Beyonce beef reached newer heights when Carrie refused to hold the newest issue of Juicy magazine after noticing Beyonce and Jay-Z were on the cover. The internet then began to hate on Hilson for the evil way she has been treating Beyonce. As the internet hate grew severe and became unbearable, Carrie took to Twitter in 2013. The singer wrote, "You have no idea what your hateful words could do to someone's spirit. Years of verbal abuse from strangers all day long. Enough is enough." Next, let's discuss Beyonce's alleged rude restaurant behavior. Multiple servers have made an assortment of claims about her. Although Beyonce might seem down to earth at times, she also has a $70 million yacht, so it makes sense that there might be some stories of her behaving in a rude manner. In 2002 and 2006, a waitress says that Beyonce was very, very rude to her. According to the post on Quora.com, she first encountered the singer at Papa De, a restaurant in Houston, Texas, and Beyonce wouldn't look her in the eyes. Solange, Beyonce's sister, was nice, but Beyonce wasn't, she says. The waitress also came across Beyonce in 2006 at the NBA All-Star Game, which took place at the Houston, Texas Center. As the server posted, again, incredibly rude. "I get you are famous, but a true queen has class. So in my opinion, Queen Bee, or whatever she's called, can kiss my you-know-what." There's another story out there about a restaurant order connected to Beyonce. According to LouisvilleFuture.com, Beyonce was signing at the KFC Yum Center in December 2013, and Beyonce and the people working for her ordered a ton of food. Someone who worked for her came into a restaurant called Highlands Buffalo Wild Wings and paid for the $900 bill. The order was 4 salads, 5 burgers, fish tacos, fried shrimp, 20 chicken tenders, more than 100 wings, and more than 100 boneless wings. The problem? Not only did Beyonce's employee not leave any tip which is impossible to believe when the restaurant bill is almost $1,000, but they weren't polite when ordering either. Mahogany Lucas, the cashier, even gave the employee free food, and there wasn't a tip there either. They said the employee was very rude and demanded the food be ready soon. Next we have Kim Kardashian, who allegedly is not a fan of Beyonce. It's well known that Beyonce and the Kardashians are not friends, and it's believed the reason for this is because Jay-Z and Kanye's ongoing feud. The power couple didn't attend Kim and Kanye's wedding, despite Jay-Z previously being his mentor and a main player in kickstarting his career. In April 2018, Kanye told radio host Charlemagne that thank God their feud began after the couple snubbed his wedding. According to Page 6, sources told the publication that Beyonce, who keeps most of her family life private, didn't like that Kanye was participating in keeping up with the Kardashians. Beyonce always gives Kanye a lot of grief whenever he does anything for the show, they said. Another source told the publication that Kim and Kanye's obsession with fame irritates Beyonce. And Beyonce reportedly owned Kim K in a tense phone call. Beyonce flipped out on Kim when Kim called her to try and soothe tensions after Kanye's 2016 hospitalization, a source told the website. Basically, she told Kim to never ever contact her or her husband again, and said stuff like she thought that the two of them are made for each other because they're both talentless and pathetic. Next up, we have Wendy Williams. When Beyonce was set to release her HBO special, Life is But a Dream, Wendy Williams was quick to say, I am a Beyonce fan. I'm gonna watch her upcoming documentary because fortunately, one of the TVs in our kitchen has closed captioning, so I'll be able to understand what she says. The audience began laughing nervously before Wendy went in for the kill. You know, Beyonce can't talk. She sounds like she has a 5th grade education, she says. This did not go over well at all with Williams' audience, who responded with several boos. Excuse me, I just said I was a fan, she said, but we have to call a spade a spade. Next up, we have Azalea Banks. Azalea has a lot to say about everything and anything except her own music that apparently is not doing too hot. In 2016, following the release of Beyonce's album Lemonade, Banks was quick to respond to writer Ta-Nehisi Coates' praise of the singer's work. I don't think for a second that Beyonce was intelligent enough to come up with any of those ideas on her own, she tweeted. But there is an update on the drama, as just a few weeks ago, Azalea made another comment about her. Beyonce announced details of her new album Renaissance Act 2 during the Super Bowl, and as soon as the commercial concluded, Beyonce released the project's first 2 singles, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages. And the banjo twang of the former and the slow pacing of the latter both seem to confirm ongoing speculation Beyonce was planning on releasing a country-flavored album. Now, Azalea has spoken up, warning her fellow performer that she was making a mistake. In an Instagram stories post, she said about the new material, there's nothing country about it. You're setting yourself up to be ridiculed again. There's a theatrical element to country music. The critics are not just going to accept an ugly blonde wig and bullying from Jay-Z. It's giving big-time musical grift. Yes, black girls can make country music, she continued, but you're just really not hitting the button. Next up, we have the controversial Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani, the former mayor of New York City, took issue with Beyonce's 2016 Super Bowl halftime show. During the performance, she debuted her single Formation and paid homage to the Black Panthers, Malcolm X, and the Black Lives Matter movement. Giuliani interpreted her show as an affront to law enforcement. This is football, not Hollywood, Giuliani told Fox and Friends after the big game. I thought it was really outrageous that she used it as a platform to attack police officers who are the people who protect her and protect us and keep us alive. Giuliani argued that the Super Bowl is for middle America and that the NFL should be providing, quote, decent, wholesome entertainment to that audience rather than political messages. Giuliani's criticism of Beyonce received serious backlash of their own. Included on that list, former Destiny's Child group member Kelly Rowland said in an interview with Us Weekly that, quote, Giuliani should just shut up. Next up, we have actress Sonia Lathan was accused of flirting with Jay-Z and biting Beyonce in the face at a party in December 2017. Yes, you heard that right. Comedian Tiffany Haddish told GQ that an unnamed actress was getting too close for comfort to Jay-Z at a party, so Beyonce allegedly intervened. And by intervened, we mean she supposedly said, "Jay, come here, this B-word," and snatched him. At least that's how Tiffany Haddish remembers it. Haddish said one of Beyonce's friends later told her that this B-word just bit Beyonce. Wow. Next up, we have Kid Rock. The born free and cowboy rocker threw some serious shade at Beyonce in an interview with Rolling Stone. He told the music magazine that he is, quote, flabbergasted by the attention she receives. "Beyonce to me doesn't have an effing purple rain, but she's the biggest thing on earth," he said. "How can you be that big without at least one Sweet Home Alabama or old time rock and roll? People are like, Beyonce's hot, she's got a nice effing butt. I'm like, cool, I like skinny white chicks. Doesn't really effing do much for me." Beyonce has not responded to Kid Rock's offensive remarks. However, Beyonce fans, called the Beehive, have taken action to defend their Grammy Award winning queen in a way only the Beehive could, by flooding his Instagram page with bee emojis. And then Kid Rock later posted a photo of bee repellent. Yikes. Lastly, we have Fox News presenter Bill O'Reilly. The famously right-wing host labeled Beyonce's video for the song Partition as, quote, exploitative garbage, and suggested it will encourage pregnancy among teen African-American females. Wow. When Beyonce was set to release her HBO special Life is But a Dream, Wendy Williams was quick to say, quote, "I am a Beyonce fan. I'm gonna watch her upcoming documentary because fortunately one of the TVs in our kitchen has closed captioning, so I'll be able to understand what she says." The audience began laughing nervously before Williams went in for the kill. Quote, "You know Beyonce can't talk. She sounds like she has a 5th grade education." This did not go over so well with Williams' audience, who responded with several boos. "Excuse me, I just said I was a fan," she said, "but we have to call a spade a spade." Williams' comments did not go over well with the Beyonce fans. It was also picked up by several media outlets who reported on Wendy's commentary. Next up, we have Azealia Banks. Azealia has a lot to say about everything and anything except her own music that apparently is not doing too well. In 2016, following the release of Beyonce's award-winning album Lemonade, Banks was quick to respond to writer Ta-Nehisi Coates' praise of the singer's work. "Don't think for a second that Beyonce was intelligent enough to come up with any of those ideas on her own," she tweeted. But there is an update on the Azealia Banks Beyonce drama, as just a few days ago, Azealia made another comment about her. Beyonce announced details of her new album Renaissance Act 2 during a Verizon advertisement during Sunday's Super Bowl. As soon as the advert concluded, Beyonce released the project's first 2 singles, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages, and the banjo twang of the former and the slow pacing of the latter both seemed to confirm ongoing speculation Beyonce was planning on releasing a country album. But now Azealia has spoken up, warning her fellow performer that she was making a big mistake. In an Instagram stories post, she said about the new material, quote, "There's nothing country about it. You're setting yourself up to be ridiculed again. There's a theatrical element to country music. Them critics are not just going to accept an ugly blonde wig and bullying from Jay-Z. It's giving big time musical grift." Yikes. She continues by saying, yes, black girls can make country music, but you're just really not hitting the button. Next up, we have Kid Rock. The born free and cowboy rocker threw some serious shade at Beyonce in an interview with Rolling Stone that he is, quote, flabbergasted by the attention that she receives. "Beyonce to me doesn't have an effing purple rain, but she's the biggest thing on earth," he said. "How can you be that big without at least one Sweet Home Alabama or old time rock and roll? People are always like, Beyonce's so hot, she's got a nice butt. Well, I'm into skinny white chicks. Doesn't really effing do much for me." Yikes. Beyonce has not responded to Kid Rock's offensive remarks. However, the Beehive, Beyonce's fan base, has taken action to defend their Grammy Award-winning queen in a way only the Beehive could, by flooding Kid Rock's Instagram page with bee emojis. Kid Rock then responded by posting a photo of bee repellent. Yikes. Our next Beyonce hating celeb is Donald Trump. Former President of the United States, Donald Trump, is not in the good books of many celebrities, Beyonce included. In 2016, when he was running for office, he did not have most celebrities' support. And if his 2019 Minneapolis rally speech is anything to go by, he didn't need them, he says. At the rally, Trump sent some words in the direction of Beyonce and Jay-Z, who rallied behind Hillary Clinton in 2016. "I didn't need Beyonce and Jay-Z," Trump said, quote by quote. Alright, next we have Piers Morgan, the British reporter. When Beyonce released Lemonade in 2016, Azealia Banks was not the only celebrity who wasn't pleased with her. In a Daily Mail article, Morgan criticized Beyonce, referring to her as militant. In a tweet sharing the article, Piers Morgan says, "I prefer the old Beyonce, the one who didn't use grieving mothers to shift records and further fill her already massively enriched purse." Morgan also recalls interviewing Beyonce at President Barack Obama's inaugural ball in 2008 and meeting a quote, "bright, warm, funny, sharp star." A bright, warm, funny, sharp star who pains to be seen as an entertainer and musician and not as a black woman who sings. He remembers the singer when asked if she ever experienced racism in her childhood, saying, "I feel like with my career, I've now broken barriers. I don't think people think about my race anymore. It's not about color and race, and I'm happy that's changing." Now, it seems to be the complete opposite, Morgan writes. The new Beyonce wants to be seen as a black woman political activist first, entertainer and musician second. He cites her popular music video for Formation, which contained references to Black Lives Matter, and her Super Bowl halftime performance, which alluded to the Black Panthers. Morgan questions Beyonce's intentions for showing the grieving mothers of Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin in her video for Lemonade, contending that both women were exploited, he says, to promote her album. "I have huge personal sympathy for both women, and there's no doubt that African Americans have been treated appallingly by certain rogue elements within the country's police forces," he writes, "but I felt very uneasy watching these women being used in this way to sell Beyonce's album. It smacks of shameless exploitation." Next up we have Rihanna. Rihanna better get to hiding under that umbrella because the rumors of her feud with Queen Bee are pouring down. While the two play nice in front of the cameras, it is very clear that Riri isn't feeling Beyonce at times. Apparently, the work singer wants Jay-Z back, and that is why she sometimes casts shade. Rihanna and Jay-Z have known one another since 2004, when the young singer from Barbados was called into the offices at his company, Def Jam Records. Rihanna has since admitted to being incredibly nervous about meeting him and told The Guardian in 2007 that she did not get nervous until she was actually face to face with the man who would change her life. As Rihanna put it, "I was like, oh god, he's right there, I can't look, I can't look, I cannot look." Before Beyonce married Jay-Z, Rihanna and him were constantly seen in paparazzi photos looking pretty cozy with one another. To further fan the hate flame, Rihanna also favorited a tweet once that alluded to the idea that Rihanna was better than Beyonce. Next up we have 50 Cent. 50 Cent has never come out and said the words "I hate Beyonce," but during multiple interviews over the years, the rapper has implied he's not the biggest fan of Queen Bee or even her husband Jay-Z. Speaking to People in 2015, 50 Cent defended the Grammys' decision to award Album of the Year to Beck over Beyonce, saying, quote, "Beck produced his record, he wrote the record. There's 11 producers on Beyonce's album." That is a fair analysis and not necessarily an insult towards her, but let's dig a little deeper. A year prior, as Beyonce and Jay-Z tried to move on from leaked security footage showing Beyonce's sister Solange attacking Jay-Z in an elevator, 50 Cent publicly recalled a time that Beyonce allegedly confronted him inside a Las Vegas nightclub. One time, Beyonce jumped off of a ledge and came running over because she thought me and Jay were having issues, he told radio station Power 105. And I'm like, what the F? Did she really just jump and run up on me like that? She bugged out at me, he says. Next up, we have the controversial Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani, the former mayor of New York City, took issue with Beyonce's 2016 Super Bowl halftime show. During the performance, she debuted her single Formation and paid homage to the Black Panthers, Malcolm X, and the Black Lives Matter movement. Giuliani interpreted her show as an affront to law enforcement. This is football, not Hollywood, he told Fox and Friends after the big moment. I thought it was really outrageous that she used it as a platform to attack police officers, who are the people who protect her and protect us and keep us alive. Giuliani argued that the Super Bowl is for middle America and that the NFL should be providing, quote, decent, wholesome entertainment to that audience rather than political messages. Giuliani's criticism of Beyoncé received some really bad reviews of their own. Included on that list, former Destiny's Child group member Kelly Rowland, who said in an interview with Us Weekly that Giuliani should just shut up. Next up, we have Etta James. Beyoncé earned arguably the best reviews of her movie career playing legendary singer Etta James in the 2008 movie Cadillac Records. She even attended the Los Angeles premiere of the movie with Etta James, suggesting the two were on friendly terms, at least professionally, but apparently that was not the case. During a 2009 concert, Etta, who died in 2012 sadly, made it very clear she was not happy about Beyoncé singing her iconic song At Last at President Barack Obama's inaugural ball in 2009. She says, "I tell you, that woman he had singing for him, singing my song, she's gonna get her ass whipped." A 71-year-old James reportedly told a stunned crowd, "The great Beyoncé. No, I can't stand Beyoncé. She had no business being up there singing on a big old President Day and gonna be singing my song that I have been singing forever." Lastly, we have actress Sana Lathan, who was accused of flirting with Jay-Z and biting Beyoncé in the face. Yes, you heard that right. Comedian Tiffany Haddish told GQ that an unnamed actress was getting too close for comfort to Jay-Z at a party. So Beyoncé allegedly intervened, and by intervened, we mean she supposedly said, "Jay, come here, this B word," and snatched him. At least that's how Tiffany remembers it. First up, we have Keyshia Cole. In 2013, when Beyoncé released Bow Down, one of the people who were not pleased with her was fellow singer Keyshia Cole. In a series of tweets, Cole called Beyoncé out. "I can't stand when people are all self-righteous when it's convenient and it makes them good. First, women need to stick together. This girl better bow down," Cole tweeted, alleging that Beyoncé was being hypocritical. Next up, we have Donald Trump. Former president of the United States, Donald Trump is not in the good books of many celebs, Beyoncé included. In 2016, when he was running for office, he didn't have most celebrities' support. And if his 2019 Minneapolis rally speech is anything to go by, he didn't need them apparently. At the rally, Trump sent some words in the direction of Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and even Bruce Springsteen, who rallied behind Hillary Clinton. "I didn't need Beyoncé and Jay-Z, I didn't need little Bruce Springsteen," Trump said. "I really like Jay-Z, but there is trouble in paradise. When his wife's sister starts whacking him, it's not good. No help from Beyoncé leads to a mess," is another quote Trump said in 2014 after Solange Knowles, Beyoncé's sister, was caught attacking Jay-Z in an elevator after he was allegedly caught cheating on Beyoncé. But why are we caring about what Donald Trump says anyway when he has said mean things to nearly every single celebrity out there? Years ago, when discussing Angelina Jolie, Trump said, quote, "I'm not saying she's an unattractive woman, but she's not beauty by any stretch of the imagination. And now she's like a representative of the United Nations and world peace on hunger and all this crap. It's called give me a break. But she's not, in terms of beauty, she's not a great beauty. She's okay, but she's not a great beauty. I really understand beauty. I do own Miss Universe. I own Miss USA." Wow. In the history of every negative comment said about Beyoncé, perhaps Carlos Santana's words reign supreme, and not in a good way. In an interview with the New Zealand Herald, Santana said, "I think Adele won a Grammy because she can sing. With all respect to our sister Beyoncé, Beyoncé is very beautiful to look at, and it's more a modeling kind of music. She's not a singer. One-hit wonder Kia, known for her 2000 2001 My Neck, My Back had some things to get off her chest following the release of Beyonce's Lemonade. First of all, the video was tired, she says, and through and long, and it made black people look bad as hell. You're walking around with this blonde hair, but you want African kings and queens in your videos? Interesting. Our next point is not about a celebrity, but about a movement that believes Beyonce is associated with the Illuminati and is trying to take down America. Beyonce and her husband Jay-Z have long been the subject of conspiracy theories and wild fantasies. The idea is that the two are members of the Illuminati and are secretly ushering a revolution, a new world order, brainwashing the public through music videos and dance routines. Untangling the complexities of the Illuminati conspiracy would require its own video, but in a nutshell, conspiracy theorists allege that the world is run by an ancient cabal of cultists who communicate through secret signals, sometimes concealed within music videos. It's a bit weird that these supposedly all-powerful people can't just speak privately or send text messages to one another, but that is essentially the idea. For several years, Jay-Z has, during his performances, made a hand signal that forms a triangle. This is supposedly meant to represent a diamond and has been synonymous with Jay-Z and his record label. Occasionally, Beyonce will also flash the hand signal, likely in support of her husband. Thus, conspiracy theorists believe that Jay-Z's iconic hand signal is secretly signaling his devotion to the Illuminati. It's no secret that Jay-Z is a bit of a ladies' man. He's been in the spotlight, so his relationships have had some light shown on them as well. Blue Cantrell was one of his most widely talked about exes, and she definitely threw some shade when she made comments about the connection between her name and that of Beyonce's daughter, Blue Ivy. Her sarcastic comment about how she, quote, loved their child's name raised a few eyebrows and surely ruffled Beyonce's feathers. In 2003, Blue Cantrell launched a blistering attack on chart rival Beyonce, claiming the Destiny's Child beauty was, quote, ripping me off. Cantrell was fuming after hearing Beyonce's 2003 single Baby Boy because she believed it was far too similar to her own #1 hit, Breathe. Both songs are edgy R&B tunes featuring dancehall star Sean Paul. She moaned, Beyonce is talented and beautiful and I'm a fan, but she has a song out which is really similar to mine. She uses words which are in the hook of my song, and if she's that talented, she wouldn't have to copy somebody else. Her song Baby Boy has the exact word breathe in the hook. She's ripping me off, but there is no animosity because I'm a really positive person. However, I'm a little disappointed because she is established and didn't have to do that, but she won't get away with plagiarizing me because I am a #1 artist. Blue's anger is increased because Beyonce chose to use Sean Paul in her song as well, and she reckoned that his presence was a direct dig at her. She added, now she is doing a song with Sean Paul because I'm linked with Sean Paul, so I don't know what her intentions are. I'm not tit for tat like that. I don't waste my time sitting around trying to think about what Beyonce is thinking. Next up, we have megastar Taylor Swift. Queen Bee's fans accused the Me singer of copying Beyonce's 2018 Coachella set with her performance at the Billboard Music Awards in 2019, both of which heavily featured drum lines and very similar choreography. I see Taylor Swift is doing the great value version of Beyonce's Homecoming, one Twitter user joked. But Beyonce is not the only celebrity that Taylor has allegedly ripped off. After Taylor released Shake It Off, she was met with a lawsuit after another band accused her of stealing their song. The lawsuit was filed by Sean Hall and Nathan Butler, the songwriters behind Playas Gonna Play, a 2000 track by the R&B group 3LW that contains the lines Playas they gonna play and haters they gonna hate. They accused Swift of using those lines without permission or credit on Shake It Off, which was released in 2014 and became one of her defining hits, notching 4 weeks at #1 on the Billboard chart. After Taylor released her album Red, singer Matt Nathanson claims that Taylor stole many lyrics from his music. One of Swift's songs from her album Red, entitled All Too Well, includes the line, "And I forget about you long enough to forget Forget Why I Needed To, which Nathanson claims is more or less the same as a part of his 2003 song I Saw. And I'll forget about you long enough to forget why I need to. Almost identical lyrics. He tweeted about the coincidence but has since deleted the message. Nathanson returned to Twitter to share his thoughts after and said, "So far my favorite thing about today is the wave of Taylor Swift fans calling me a prick on Twitter for writing my song I Saw in 2003. Taylor is a self-proclaimed fan of Nathan's and has been seen at some of his concerts with lyrics to his music written on her arms. In a now deleted tweet, Nathanson wrote, quote, "She's definitely a fan and now she's a thief." Now back to Beyonce. Our next Beyonce hater is 50 Cent. 50 Cent has never come out and said the words "I hate Beyonce," but during multiple interviews over the years, the rapper has implied he's not the biggest fan of Queen Bee or her husband Jay-Z. Speaking to People in 2015, 50 Cent defended the Grammys' decision to award Album of the Year to Beck over Beyonce, saying Beck produced his record, he wrote the record. There's 11 producers on Beyonce's album. That is a fair analysis and not necessarily an insult, but let's dig a little deeper. A year prior, as Beyonce and Jay-Z tried to move on from leaked security footage showing Beyonce's sister Solange attacking Jay-Z in an elevator, 50 Cent publicly recalled a time Beyonce allegedly confronted him inside a Las Vegas nightclub. One time Beyonce jumped off a ledge and came running over because she thought me and Jay had issues, he told radio station Power 105.1. And I'm like, what the F? Did she really just jump and run up on me like that? She bugged out at me. Next up we have Sana Lathan, who apparently bit Beyonce at a party. You heard that right, she bit Beyonce. Although Sana denies this, she also said she is not bothered by the rumors linking her to the hashtag #WhoBitBeyonce movement. The actress appeared on the cover of Health magazine years ago where she broke her silence on how she felt about the reports that she allegedly was the actress who bit Beyonce at a Jay-Z concert after party. The wild story gained a lot of steam in the media when Tiffany Haddish recalled her version of the events but refused to name the attacker. "I think it's the most absurd thing I've ever been involved with," Sonia told the magazine. "Thank God I've been in this business for 20 years and I've had so many rumors about me. They used to devastate me in my 20s, but in order to survive in this business, you just have to let it roll." Lastly, we have Kid Rock. The Born Free and cowboy rocker threw some serious shade at Beyonce in an interview with Rolling Stone, published years ago after the release of his album First Kiss. He told the music magazine that he is flabbergasted by the attention Beyonce receives. "Beyonce to me doesn't have an effing purple rain, but she's the biggest thing on earth," he says. "How can you be that big without at least one Sweet Home Alabama? People are like, Beyonce's hot, she's got a nice..." I'm like, cool, well I like skinny white chicks. Doesn't really effing do much for me. Beyonce has not responded to Kid Rock's offensive remarks. However, the Beehive, Beyonce's fans, have taken action to defend their Grammy-winning queen in a way only the Beehive would, by flooding his Instagram page with bee emojis. And then Kid Rock posted a photo of bee repellent. First off, we have Wendy Williams. When Beyonce was set to release her HBO special, Life is But a Dream, Wendy Williams was quick to say, quote, "I am a Beyonce fan and I'm gonna watch her upcoming documentary because fortunately one of the TVs in our kitchen has closed captioning, so I'll be able to understand what she says." The audience began laughing nervously before Williams went in for the kill. "You know Beyonce can't talk. She sounds like she has a 5th grade education," she says. This did not go over so well with Wendy's audience, who responded with several boos. "Excuse me, I just said I was a fan," she says, "but we have to call a spade a spade." Williams' comments did not go over well with the Beyonce fans. It was also picked up by several media outlets who reported on Williams' commentary. Next up, we have Azealia Banks. Azealia has a lot to say about everything and anything, except her own music that apparently is not doing too well. In 2016, following the release of Beyonce's award-winning album Lemonade, Azealia was quick to respond to writer Ta-Nehisi Coates' praise of Beyonce's work. "I don't think for a second that Beyonce was intelligent enough to come up with any of those ideas on her own," she tweeted. But there's an update on the Azealia Banks Beyonce drama, as just a few weeks ago, Azealia made another comment about her. Beyonce announced details of her new album, Renaissance Act 2, during the Super Bowl, and as soon as the advertisement concluded, Beyonce released the project's first two songs, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages. And the banjo twang of the former and the slow pacing of the latter both seem to confirm ongoing speculation that Beyonce was planning on releasing a country album. Now, Azealia Banks has spoken up, warning her fellow performer that she was making a huge mistake. In an Instagram stories post, she said about the new material, quote, "Nothing country about it. You're setting yourself up to be ridiculed again. There's a theatrical element to country music. The critics are not going to accept an ugly blonde wig and bullying from Jay-Z. It's giving big time musical grift. Yes, black girls can make country music," she continued, "but you're just really not hitting the button." Our next point is not about a celebrity, but actually about a movement that's insane. There's a movement going around for the last decade that believes that Beyonce is associated with the Illuminati and is trying to take down America. Beyonce and her husband Jay-Z have long been the subject of conspiracy theories and wild fantasies. The idea is that the two are members of the Illuminati and are secretly ushering a revolution, a new world order, and brainwashing the public through their music videos and dance routines. Untangling the complexities of the Illuminati conspiracy would require its own video, but in a nutshell, conspiracy theorists allege that the world is run by an ancient cabal of cultists who communicate through secret signals, sometimes concealed within the music videos. But it's a bit weird that these supposedly all-powerful celebs can't just speak privately or send text messages to, but essentially that is the idea. For several years, Jay-Z has, during his performances, made a hand signal that forms a triangle. This is supposedly meant to represent a diamond and has become synonymous with Jay-Z and his record label. Occasionally though, Beyonce will also flash this hand signal, likely in support of her husband. Thus, conspiracy theorists believe that both Jay-Z and Beyonce are in the Illuminati. Next up, let's discuss Beyonce's fake pregnancy. TMZ alleged that Beyonce's 2011 pregnancy was fake. I know it sounds insane, but in 2011, the internet was buzzing with rumors that Beyonce was not really pregnant and that she was wearing a fake stomach in an elaborate cover-up scheme. A controversial video actually went viral online, and that even fueled the fire more. Beyonce appeared on an Australian TV show called Sunday Night wearing a tight red dress that accentuated her baby bump. But when she sits down in her chair, her baby bump appears to collapse inward, leading many to believe that it's not her real stomach after all, but a prosthetic device intended to deceive. But why would she be fake pregnant? There were rumors that she had hired a surrogate mother to carry the kid, so she didn't have to put her body through the strains of being pregnant. Next up, we have Kid Rock. The born free and cowboy singer threw some serious shade at Beyonce in an interview with Rolling Stone, published a few years ago after the release of his new album, First Kiss. He told Rolling Stone he is, quote, flabbergasted by the attention she receives. Beyonce to me doesn't have an effing purple rain, but she's the biggest thing on earth, he says. How can you be that big without at least one Sweet Home Alabama? People are like, Beyonce's hot. She got a nice butt. I'm like, cool. I like skinny white chicks. Doesn't really do much to me. Beyonce has not responded to Kid Rock's very offensive remarks. However, the Beyonce fans have taken action to defend their Grammy Award-winning queen in a way only Beyonce fans could, by flooding Kid Rock's Instagram page with bee emojis. And then Kid Rock posted a photo of bee repellent. Yikes. Next up, we have Piers Morgan. When Beyonce released Lemonade in 2016, Azealia Banks was not the only celebrity who wasn't pleased with her. In a Daily Mail article, Piers Morgan criticized Beyonce by calling her militant. In a tweet sharing the article, Morgan said, quote, I prefer the old Beyonce, the one who didn't use grieving mothers to shift records and further fill her already massively enriched purse. Morgan also recalls interviewing Beyonce at President Barack Obama's inaugural ball and meeting a very bright, warm, funny, sharp star that pains to be seen as an entertainer and musician and not as a black woman who sings. He remembers the singer when asked if she ever experienced racism in her childhood, saying, "I feel with my career I've broken barriers. I don't think people think about my race anymore." Now it seems to be the complete opposite. Piers says the new Beyonce wants to be seen as a black woman activist first and foremost, and then entertainer and musician second. He then questions Beyonce's intentions for showing the grieving mothers of Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin in her video for Lemonade, contending that both women were exploited to promote the album. Next up, let's discuss Solange Knowles, Beyonce's sister. In a viral video years and years ago, Solange was seen hitting Beyonce's husband Jay-Z in an elevator after he allegedly cheated on Beyonce. Jay-Z's album 444 alluded to him being unfaithful. He wrote, "Look, I apologize. I often womanize. Took for my child to be born to see through a woman's eyes." The rapper and Beyonce had planned to do a joint album years ago, but ended up doing solo records instead. "We were using our art almost like a therapy session, and we started making music together. And then the music that she was making at the time was further along, so her album came out as opposed to the joint album that we were working on." Next up, we have 50 Cent. 50 Cent has never come out and said the words "I hate Beyonce," but during multiple interviews over the years, the rapper has implied he's not the biggest fan of Queen Bee or her husband Jay-Z. Speaking to People in 2015, 50 Cent defended the Grammys' decision to award Album of the Year to Beck over Beyonce's album, saying Beck produced his own record. He wrote it. There's 11 producers on Beyonce's album. That is a fair analysis and not necessarily an insult, but let's dig a little deeper. A year prior, as Beyonce and Jay-Z tried to move on from leaked security footage showing Beyonce's sister Solange attacking Jay-Z in an elevator, 50 Cent publicly recalled a time Beyonce allegedly confronted him inside a Las Vegas nightclub. One time, Beyonce jumped off of a ledge and came running over because she thought me and Jay-Z were having issues, he told a radio station. And I'm like, what the F? Did she really just bump and run up on me like that? She bugged out at me. Next up, we have Etta James. Beyonce earned arguably the best reviews of her entire movie career playing legendary singer Etta James in the 2008 flick Cadillac Records. She even attended the Los Angeles premiere of the movie with Etta James, suggesting that the two were on friendly terms, at least professionally. Apparently, this was not the case. During a 2009 concert, Etta James, who died in 2012, made it very, very clear she was not happy about Beyonce singing her iconic 1961 song At Last at President Barack Obama's inaugural ball in 2008. "I tell you, that woman he had singing for him, singing my song, she's gonna get her butt whipped," she says. The great Beyonce, I cannot stand her. Etta James said Beyonce has, quote, "no business being up there singing on a big ol' President Day and singing my song that I have been singing forever."